Hello, good evening, and welcome back. So, Facebook's Oversight Board has looked into the ban for Donald Trump following the January 6th protest riots, the peaceful protest, the riots, depending on how you wish to view it. Why not? We can all play lovely language games. So, after, of course, he said we will peacefully go to have our voices heard, a minute and a half after that, some people stormed the gates of the Capitol, and so they pinned the two together. Despite then afterwards trying to say on Twitter and Facebook to say that's enough, go home, then those posts were taken down. So peculiar. It's almost as if they saw, I see, there's something going on that we can pin on Trump. Now how's about we remove any chance that he's able to defend ourselves so that we can control the narrative? Yeah, it's almost as if that's what happened. Right, so with that in mind, a few years ago, Facebook built up its oversight board that, they try and say it's 20 hard left-leaning people that get paid six figures for 15 hours work a week. But whatever the case might be, the idea is that it's their version of a Supreme Court in order to say if there's anything that Facebook doesn't wish to deal with, then it goes to the oversight board, and they're supposed to be more individual and unbiased as lawyers and human rights advocates or activists and all that, in order to then try and decide something that is more fair and in keeping with Facebook's own policies. So you've got the lawyers to keep it legal and aligned with their contractual agreements, and then you've got the human rights activists in order to try and keep it in keeping with the spirit of the contract instead of just the word of the contract. Right, that's the point. So, what do the board say? It's like, no, you're going to have to make the decision yourself. All they picked up on is to say, yeah, well, you don't actually allow indefinite bans. So either you ban him forever, or you give a time scale for the suspension. But you got to pick one or the other. So if this isn't fixed in 6 months, we'll come back. And the funny thing is, of course, that the point of all this is that it has to be a snap decision in order to change the outcome of particular events. It's all done in order to take fuel away from the fire and the immediacy. Same thing as, of course, with talk about election interference, that then their policies and how they were, how should we say, very particular about how they were enforced. Selectively enforced. Let's go with that. They're trying to say, yeah, that wasn't so good either, but you're going to have to review that yourself. But in the same way, if you're muzzling a particular news outsource, whether that be the New York Times article on Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, that kind of muzzling as well, then of course that is going to sway decisions in terms of voting as well. So it's all very well to try and come out after the fact and to say, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. It's like, yeah, but there isn't really any punishment that would be fitting retribution to make up for the damage caused, because it's too late for that now. It's not as if Facebook can say, yeah, cool, so we misled too many people, and therefore they voted incorrectly, so we're going to have that election again, and then undo everything Biden's done, and reinstate Trump. Obviously, that ain't going to bloody well happen. So what is the point of this oversight? What, to then say, you've got a fine and you've got to give it away to some charity or to Trump? I said, well, for a start, that's not going to happen. But let's pretend that it did. Is that really going to prevent them from doing it in the future? No, it's not. So there isn't really anything to prevent them from doing it in the future, unless you just say, yeah, well, that's the end of Facebook, and hopefully no social media company is going to try it in the future, otherwise they'll be gone as well. But then again, you're going to have shell companies and ways around this. So, great, they've got their oversight board, but hey, prevention's always better than the cure, especially when the cure is impossible. So how's about that then? So let's go through the little bullet points and keep it short and sweet tonight. Facebook's oversight board ruled to keep Trump banned for another 6 months, and then review it again. Then the final decision will be made by Facebook on whether he can come back. Trump was banned from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter in January. Yeah, collusion. Social media giants blamed him for the January 6th riot at the Capitol, with no substantiating evidence, but sure, yeah, let's pretend you're even remotely accurate. It punts the controversial decision back to Facebook after months of waiting, and that's always the case with legal discussions as well, that it takes far too long. I mean, surely that's the case with Derek Chauvin trial as well, that it's about a year later. Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, it's nice that the legal system moves slow enough in order to gather all the evidence, but at the same time, if you're looking for justice and retribution, it's a bit long, really. The board has 20 highly paid left-leaning members who make the decisions. Most likely, yeah. They get paid six-figure salaries for approximately 15 hours of work a week, but is that actually accurate, given how much research we need to go in and how much they need to keep their finger on the pulse outside of those 15 hours of provided work? It's like homework instead of schoolwork kind of thing. It's not necessarily accurate. It's a bit misleading. And let's say it is accurate, then fucking hell, they're very skilled people for that. If they only ever need to put in 15 hours of work, and that's it, all the other times of the week they can just switch off and still get paid that. 15 hours of work, so what, 750 hours a year for six figures? Sure, yeah. I'm not buying into that. The non-decision on Wednesday has galvanized Republicans' calls to split Facebook up, which always shocks me, and I know Bean Shapiro gets in on that as well, to say, well, we got antitrust laws for a reason. It's like, yeah, cool, and anti-monopoly laws, right, gotcha. Except, would you like to suggest to us as to how these monopolies come about in the first place? Would you like to? Difference between MySpace and Facebook, perhaps? How did Google get so big? How did Amazon get so big? Might it have something to do with their meddling with the government? Might it? And how they're now twinned with the government? Might it? And how they have special exemptions? Do you think that plays a part as to why they're doing so well and keep squeezing out competition? Yeah, and that is the atrocious thing when it comes to bigger companies. It is not that they're offering a superior service for the customers, but it's because they're forcing the government to do their dirty work of forcing out newcomers who could provide a better service to the customers, and therefore we never know about it because the newcomers are crushed before it gets to that point of competition. Yeah, so the monopolies couldn't exist without the government in the first place, and the government thinks, oh cool, so the problem is government. What's the solution? More government. And who's supporting that? The Republicans who want a smaller government? Yeah, makes sense. Cool. They say it is proof of Facebook's continued censorship on free speech, evidently, but Facebook wasn't for free speech in the first place. And yeah, I know Zuckerberg had a meeting with Trump, and he had a lot of disdain towards him for that, when he was saying he was for free speech and changed his mind and then changed his mind again, and seems to be at a bit of a loss, but hopefully with age comes wisdom. Trump issued a statement from his office to criticize the decision. He said it showed that radical left lunatics are afraid of the truth. And as far as I'm concerned, that is definitely true. That I will have disagreements with people and I'll have things that I'm incorrect about, but I want to hear what they say. I want them to air their voice and their opinion and know what it is that they've got going on, because I might be wrong. And I'm not afraid of being wrong. I don't like it, but to me, it means much more to know that I'm correct and accurate and factually accurate and have a realistic understanding of the world than it is for me to cling to my beliefs that are only doing me harm because they're not an accurate reflection of reality. And if you keep your marred view of reality, you're never going to get as far as somebody who actually understands what on earth is going on in the real world. But there you go. Keeping you up to date. They've thrown it back. Let's see how it pans out, but we've got 6 months, so you might as well forget about it, memory hole it. Nothing's going to bloody happen. Meanwhile, Trump is of course building up his own platform. So that's the way for it to go. And I know, I just said that Facebook's trying to squeeze out the competition using the government, and of course they are, because that's what all the monopolies do. I mean, you can include Bezos and Gates in that as well. But if you got another baller like Trump, then he's got a much better chance. At the minute, with Biden and the Democrats holding a bit too much power, it ain't really going to work, which is why Trump's trying to build up the foundations and groundwork so that in the midterms, when most likely the House goes back to the Republicans, then he's going to have enough support in order to be able to actually create something worthwhile and then use those last 2 years in order to garner enough support to go for a second term. That's the way I see it playing out. But let me know what you guys think down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, as always, until next time, have a good one.